Hello and welcome to the Full Spectrum Podcast. Figured we probably wouldn't have much of a pre-show this week since we're starting a little bit later, but my name is Trey.
I am Andrew.
And I'm Patrick.
And we're the Full Spectrum, and until next time.
Yeah, that's about how the podcast is going to go.
Yeah, there's really not much to talk about when it comes to news. So I figured we'd probably wind up spending a little bit more time on weeks. But let me send out this stream tweet real quick. And how you guys been doing while I do this? How you guys been? You guys been having a good time?
The enlightened lifestyle of
Yeah.
the Yakuza type of games.
Yeah.
It's not really part of the Yakuza series, but it's
It might as well
in
be.
the world. Yeah. Still living the enlightened life because that game is amazing. It's perfection.
Yes.
I said it last week. I'll say it again. Open world is the perfect open world because it's just the right size. You get it's just the right size, and it's jam packed full of stuff. I mean, every little shop pretty much has something you can do, and people on the street,
Oh yeah.
and then there's stuff you can unlock to collect as you're running around. So like, I still like as I'm going somewhere, I'm still playing the game basically. I'm not just riding a horse for 5 minutes. I'm still playing the game by looking around and saying, "Oh, I gotta grab that. Oh, I gotta grab that."
Yes.
It's perfect, and the story is great. The side stories are a mixture of great and funny. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff I can't wait for y'all to see.
I cannot tell you how excited it makes me that both of you are now playing a Yakuza.
Oh, well, I said it last week. I bought it at the beginning of the podcast last week. I bought Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami.
Yep.
I'm
That's
all in.
crazy.
Well, they're on sale right now, Pat. That's the thing.
Saw
For
that.
the summer sale.
I saw you roll your eyes.
Yakuza 0 is only $10.
Out of those two, I think Yakuza 0 is the better get, too. It has more content than Yakuza Kiwami. Just because Kiwami's a remake of the first game, which has the least amount of content, technically. Even though I still think it probably has the best story at all.
Wow.
But yeah, we'll go all in on it. Andrew, let's hear how has your experience with Judgment been?
So everyone knows, I have played by far the most out of the three of us.
Yes.
Because I bought the game, I did it that night, and haven't played anything else besides since then.
You should start over.
Roboted real hard there.
What is going on? Hold on.
Yeah, you may have to leave and come back because you're also super laggy. How's it going, Artug?
Y'all are still never mind. So what I was saying was I played it the most out of the three of us by far, and that's because I got it. I pre-ordered it and played it that very night.
Right.
I am over. I don't know where exactly, but I'm over 20 hours in,
Jeez.
and the main story is amazing, and it's really compelling, and I want to figure out what's going on, like in the story.
Yeah.
But I just keep unlocking people to be friends with.
I just want to throw this out here before you continue. Remember when you almost didn't get Judgment?
Yes, So I don't know if I mentioned it.
I don't think you did.
Last week, but I sent a message out in the group chat. I was like, "Man, I'm excited for Judgment, but I'm probably gonna have to skip out on it because Judgment, Crash Team Racing, Mario Maker, and Bloodstain come out. So I'm probably gonna sacrifice Crash Team Racing and Judgment. I bought Crash Team Racing and Judgment. I don't know what happened, but
I'm still
so
gonna
glad
get
that I
Mario
bought
Maker,
Judgment.
but I also skipped out on Mario Maker and Crash Team Racing. I'm still gonna get Mario Maker.
I haven't played CTR. Cordy's played it for a little bit. I haven't played it. From what she played, it looks really really fun. But I am so happy that I did not miss out on Judgment Because when Yakuza 0 came out, I was like, I want this game so bad.
Yeah.
Because I've always, the Yakuza series is one of those ones that I like, every time one comes out, I'm like, ooh, it just looks so interesting.
Yep.
I want to play it, but it's Yakuza 3, and I don't want to have to go back and play the other two to understand the story.
Yeah.
So Yakuza 0 was the one for me. But then I got intimidated, like I always do, because I hear people say, oh, yeah, I spent 100 hours, I spent 120 hours in the game. And so I get intimidated because I'm like, oh, well, that means I'm going to have to just play this game to get anything out of it. But I'm glad I bit the bullet with Judgment because all I want to do is play the game.
Makes sense.
That game is amazing. And I've fallen down the rabbit hole of the Yakuza series of playing the mini games and the side stuff.
Yeah.
I spent a couple hours playing blackjack. Last night I was up to 6,000 chips.
Yeah.
On a hot winning streak. I'm now down to 1,600. It's not a big deal. I didn't curse at my TV. I didn't get mad. You got mad.
I don't have them all physically. I got a lot of them digitally, but I do have the first Yakuza physically. I do have Yakuza 3 physically. And then I have Yakuza Kiwami physically. No, this is 3. No, this is 4. You're right. Yakuza 4 physically. Mainly because they go on sale all the time. Digitally.
Yeah.
But
the only reason I didn't buy Kiwami 2 on PC was because it wasn't on sale. Even though it's only $30, not on sale.
Yeah.
But I figure by the time I finish 0 and 1, it'll probably be on sale.
So, you've played quite a bit of it. I've played a decent amount of it. I'm probably 8 hours in. And Pat, you're probably what? 4 or 5 hours in?
4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude.
So, I guess we might as well dedicate like half this podcast to this, right? Let's just ask the regular questions you would ask then. How do you feel about Yagami, the main character?
He's awesome.
We'll get all three of our takes on it from where we are currently in the game.
I don't want to get too spoilery,
right?
But now that we've all played it, I talked about it a little bit last week, but now that Pat's here, you may get his opinion on it. Pat, what did you think of why he became a detective?
That's the reason why I was gonna say I liked him so much was his backstory.
Yes.
His backstory is fantastic.
Yep.
And every time somebody brings it up, he just like nips it in the butt and he's like, "Nope, we're not talking about this.
Yeah.
Moving on."
Because he's moved on.
Yeah.
Like it's something that he. Well, it's like it's a thing he'll always carry, right? It's a weight he will always carry.
Absolutely.
But like, I mean, for me, he's top 3 out of the Yakuza protagonists. Like,
that's awesome.
For me, it's Kiryu, then it's Akiyama. I love Majima. Don't get me wrong. I love Majima. Do not take this. He's saying I don't because I love Majima. But for me, it's Kiryu, Akiyama, Yagami. With Majima as a close 4th, and then Saejima right underneath him. But with as many protagonists in this series as there are, for Yagami to have won me over that quickly, I was really surprised. It's like, I'm not even close to done with this game, and he's in my top 3 already.
You will like him even more as the story goes on.
And I think part of the reason I like him so much is because of his interaction with people. His interaction with the friends mechanic. And we got to talk about the friends mechanic because that thing is great. Like, I am purposefully getting beaten up so I can go eat places so I can get more friends.
Yep.
Because the friends mechanic, Pat, have you unlocked friends yet?
I just did, so I know very little.
Okay. I won't spoil too much about individual storylines then. But they're all over Kamurocho. And they all have their own storylines.
I saw
time
that.
travel.
Like, you can literally make a friend basically everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the more you play, the more that you unlock, actually.
I had a situation where I was running around town, and I got attacked by some guys right in front of a shop that I had made friends with the guy in the shop. And during the fight, he healed me. He threw me a healing item.
Wait,
that's really cool.
One of your friends?
Yes.
That's really cool.
Let me say, Ninja?
No. It's the Yakuza Kiwami 3. I wish that game was out. It's the guy. I don't want to say too much. Again, it's the guy at the udon place, the udon chashu place.
Close to the house.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't even finished the story yet.
Oh man, he's super cool.
See, that's another great thing. I'm much farther in the game than you, but you have already had a different experience than I have.
Yeah. I like
That's
it
awesome.
a
That's
lot,
awesome.
man. Minigame wise, I think it's not quite as strong as like 6. But again, 6 had so much, man. 6 had 3 different locations you could go to, all of which had its own set of minigames, you know? Like, this is the
Awesome.
first game in this series, and as far as I know, is stuck to Kamurocho. I haven't left Kamurocho yet. Really. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. But, it's got some good minigames. Puyo Puyo Tetris is back. Pat, I believe you played around with some of the minigames.
I've played one of the fighting games, which I don't know what it was called.
Virtual Fighter 5.
Probably
the
the
one.
one in the Sega Club, the little
Yeah.
Sega Club.
Yeah. Club
Played
Sega.
that. I've played baseball.
Batting cages?
Home
Oh,
run.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Nice.
It's
It
hard.
pisses me off. It pisses me off. So
It
bad.
is harder than MLB The Show. That's being dead honest.
It's a returning
Um,
minigame, too.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's fun though.
No. I hate that so much.
But those are the only 2 that I've played.
I spent 2 hours on Puyo Puyo Tetris.
The first mini game type thing I did was I walked into the big Club Sega
Right.
and did the crane games for like 45 minutes and got a bunch of stuff to decorate my office with.
Right.
That was the first thing I did, and then
I haven't decorated at all. I need to do that.
And then I went and played darts.
Yeah.
And then I played some kind of racing game
Yeah.
where you fight as you're racing, so you can kick people off their bikes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Never played it before. I guess it's like an old Sega game, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then now I'm
Game is
obsessed
really-
with blackjack.
I wish
That's fun.
I had found that part yet, that place. I haven't found it.
Probably just need to
You-
get further in the story.
I won't say, I won't say too much. Playing the main story is beneficial not just because you get the main story, you get to progress the main story, and it's
It
really
also
good.
seems to unlock new features, too.
Yeah, especially at the beginning, like the beginning of each chapter at this point is spent with me side and
You're gonna have to start it over.
Yep.
my computer is locking up, and I've closed out of everything else besides the docket. Let me close.
Probably trying to do an update.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm looking it up now. Yeah, so at the beginning of every chapter, I basically do whatever new side cases there are,
Mm-hmm.
meet the new friends, maybe go back and help some of the old friends if I haven't finished their story yet, before I even touch the first mission in the main story.
Gotcha.
So that's like
Right.
that's like hours upon hours of content before I even actually start that chapter.
Yeah.
Every time.
My goal so far has been to just progress the main story
Yeah.
because I want to beat the main story and then go back and do the side quests. I don't know
There's-
if that's a good idea or not, but that's what I'm trying
You
to
should
do.
be doing some side questing while you're doing it, because it's worth it to get the friends, I think.
Not just the friend. So Pat. So to unlock side cases, which are like totally worth it. The stories are good and or funny. To unlock the side cases, you have to have city reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And to get city reputation, you have to become friends with people when you max out their friend bar at the top.
I'm at city
Gotcha.
So you get
reputation
plus
11
one
already.
city rep. So I'm like, I have like 17 city rep.
I'm at
I
11.
think. Yeah. See, you've done. See, I just here probably this past weekend. Nah, probably a little bit longer than that. But like for the first, probably like the first 10 hours, I didn't focus on this much, and then now the world has absorbed me, or I'm absorbed in the world.
Every
And
time
so,
I found a group of enemies, I would make sure that I got hurt so that I could then go to a store that I hadn't gone to yet to eat. So I could make another friend. And then I would do their quest line.
I want to talk about this. I don't know. Let me know if it's spoilery. I'm going to try to not spoil stuff.
Okay.
I fight somebody who's really good at dodging. Is that safe?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Neither do I.
He's really good at dodging. I'm keeping it very vague. Good dodging. And so he's egging you on, trying to be like, hey, try and hit me, try and hit me. So, and he kept dodging when I was trying to hit him. So Yagami just casually turns to the left, walks over, grabs a traffic cone, and does an EX move on him. I love the traffic cone. He just goes, bah, bah, bah,
Yeah.
bah, just in the face.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, I caught you. Look at that. My favorite move. Is it spoiler
really
to talk about
solid.
moves that you don't have yet?
I mean, we can see the moves in the
Oh, okay.
skill list.
Um,
That's Pat.
favorite-
Pat made a comment, or Pat made a face though.
okay, you don't want me to talk about it?
I mean, I've looked very little into the skill list. I probably should do that. Because
it just depends on what order you unlock stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't unlocked anything so far except for the first thing to do.
Ton of utility moves and have very little combat moves.
So I need to do that then.
Did you saying you filled out the green stuff, Trey?
Yeah, I have almost all of those already.
Yep, same. That was the first thing I was like.
Always the way to do it, man.
And I'll get that. And I'll get
Always.
that. I'm better at lockpicking.
I'm saving up for one right now that it may be the best ability in the game.
What?
It's where you can eat without having to be damaged.
What do you mean?
I have an ability that I can get that
Is that in the green?
allows me to. Yeah, but it's not there. All like you have to unlock it.
Oh, I bet you got from a side quest. Oh man, that's got me hyped because I hate that. I hate when you don't have.
Yeah, I want to be friends with this person, but I haven't taken any damage. Soon it won't matter.
See, I have a different problem. So
Oh no.
I can't heal anymore to a certain extent because of the first boss battle that I had.
Did you use a medical deal?
Well, it said to go to a doctor, and I
Or to use a medical
don't know
kit?
where the doctor is.
That's because the doctor is in a side quest.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
If you do the main story quest, I think you'll eventually catch him.
You unlock the doctor through the main story. It'll
Yeah,
show
Okay.
you where he's at.
but you
Yeah,
can also
'cause-
just use a medical kit.
Yeah.
I need to find
You also
the-
get from the doctor.
You also have one automatically from if you fully explore that first area where you fight that boss. That can
I
do that
got
damage
one,
to you.
but he may have not got one yet.
Yeah, if you didn't fully explore it, then
Well, I tried to, but there was 2 rooms I got locked out of.
oh, you gotta find
Yeah.
the code, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't find the code.
Oh,
Was it in that room?
no, it was in a previous room.
Okay. Well, I might have picked it up and didn't realize it. I need to look. Because there's a pretty good little chunk of health that I just can't heal now.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy about it.
So
The
I
keypad.
dodged that boss like a crazy person, dude. I focused on dodging instead of attacking.
So
Wish
the
I had done that.
keypad is always observe your enemies when you get into a fight. If you see someone with like a knife or something, grab them. And if everybody else is closing in on you, and so you can't attack that person, at least just throw that person.
Yeah.
Because they'll drop the weapon.
Gotcha.
Another
That's the
thing
first thing I'll do.
too.
If I have like 3 guys with knives,
Yeah.
I'll disarm, and then I'm safer.
You can do the wall attacks too, which the wall attacks, by the way, are new to this game. You can do the wall attacks to be able to disarm them as well. So let's talk about combat for a minute, because as somebody who's played a bunch of these games before, I think the combat in this might be one of the weakest out of the series. But that's not really a negative.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Yakuza 4, but I quickly understand it, and it seemed like it was more in depth.
So it makes sense for Yagami not to be as good at fighting as the Yakuza guys are.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in a cutscene that Pat has already seen if he's got to the point where he fought that boss, where a Yakuza character does a Yakuza thing that is just straight out of the Yakuza series, and it's clear that he can fight the way that those characters do.
Yeah.
But Yagami is not Yakuza, so he does not fight like that.
No.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that his attacks aren't quite as big and powerful, and he can't pick up like the bigger scooters like some of the Yakuza characters are, or can, because he's not as strong as they are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, some of in the Yakuza games that can pick up the scooters.
Saijima can.
Oh man, that's another thing I've found myself doing. Is if I get in a fight, I immediately like even before the fight starts, I always where weapons are now. Like
Yep.
there's a bike there, there's a cone there, there's that over there. I chunked the guy. They tried to jump me, and I chunked this guy through the window of a restaurant, and then I casually walked into the restaurant, and I could grab all the stools.
Yep.
So I grabbed a stool and just started beating the crap out of everyone.
So there's a fighting style in Zero that Kiryu can use called Beast. And in Beast, you just automatically pick up any items you walk by to be able to throw or swing at any enemies.
Yes.
And so if you walk past a collection of cones on the side of the road, it's just Kiryu. It's so good, man.
That's my style right there.
It's so good. Yeah, you're the Koichi of the protagonist. You're not quite as strong as everybody else, but Yagami has some crazy moves that the other Yakuza characters don't have. Like, for instance, he can run up walls and jump off the walls to be able to do sick combos. And he has this really sick kickflip that he can do from the ground where he goes in like this giant wheel and can kick anybody in that process if they get within range. He's pretty good.
I didn't get that move, but I did get an EX move when you're on the ground. That's pretty amazing.
Well, that's a basic move. That's not a move you have to unlock.
You flip? Oh, I never been able. What do you do?
It's triangle, 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 I think.
Every time I get knocked down, it pops up with the mash X.
Yeah. Well, you have to be like standing on the ground, and then he does like a kick, and then a flip, and then another kick, and then he does the big spinning one, and it ends with his foot coming down on the ground.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it does a ton of damage to downed enemies if you hit them with that last kick. But I don't like his other stance. His single target stance. I love the AoE one. I hate the tiger. Maybe I just don't have the moves unlocked, because I noticed in the tree there are more moves for the tiger tree. But didn't know this was anime. It's Judgment, man.
Tiger is great specifically for one of the abilities. I mean, I prefer it anyways, but there is one ability that you can get an upgrade that makes it worth it. I don't want to say what it is, but it does make it worth it.
Okay.
Well, it said in the description whenever I was reading it was like the swan was usually meant for multiple enemies, and tiger was meant for single enemies.
Yeah.
So what I do is every time I'm fighting a group of people, until I dwindle them down to, I'm using the swan, and then I quickly was like super fast finish them.
That's what I typically do. But if somebody catches me on the street, I may just stay in tiger or whatever.
I always just stay in swan.
I love bouncing off the walls.
Oh yeah, man, that's the best part.
That's what I do most of the time. Like the very time, like to initiate the fight, I just run up near the closest wall and then just mash square or triangle off the wall.
Oh, I always run towards them and just hit triangle where he does that crazy kick.
Yep.
He just kicks them over and over again.
Yep. There's a really good grab move you can get too.
Off the wall?
Yep.
The what?
Off the wall grab too that you can get.
Is it the one where you knock out 3 guys?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good.
Oh man, it's so good.
I need to check it out.
Some of the moves are just so brutal. Like there's one, like I don't know if you have to. I think it might be a basic one where if they're laying on the ground, you just straight up kick them in the face.
Right.
And
Oh,
it's
that
like,
XP
that's-
move.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So there's one when you push somebody against the wall and knee them in the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you could mess some people up.
And the best part is that these aren't even the half of like the brutal EX moves that the series has. There's one in Zero, which is young Kiryu, right? Like not got a better understanding of how life works, more calm Kiryu. He grabs them and then he shoves their head against the ground and then runs them back and forth across the ground where their face is scraping, and then just goes rah, just throws them away. There's one where Saejima, where he gives him a backbreaker, slams him on the ground, and then just stomps one foot on him and goes, "Gah!"
Oh, that's awesome.
The craziest thing I've seen so far was, I don't know if it was a traffic meter or a sledgehammer that he grabbed, but he grabbed one of the two and it was like clearly heavy, and they're laying on the ground and he just swings straight up and then on top of their head.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, wow.
That's why I love the traffic cone one so much, because it's so obvious. It's so simple. But he just grabs it and just bashes him on the face over and over again until the cone breaks. And it's like, yeah, that's effective.
It'll do it.
That'll hurt.
We do need to move on from Judgment at some
Oh.
point. We've been on it for almost 26 minutes.
That's nothing.
It's a very good game. There's not really a difference in melee and projectile damage, Artaka. It's really just damage. Thrown items. There's not like a style that is dependent on thrown items. There is a character in the Yakuza series that is dependent on items and whether they're projectile or non. But it is not Yagami.
Dude, that sounds like my kind of guy.
His name's Shinada. He's in 5. He used to be a baseball player. That's why items are so important to him.
Never mind, he sucks.
You give him a bat.
It's like coming home.
There's literally an EX move, and then we'll stop. We'll have to move on. But there's an EX move with Shinada where he takes the bat and he closes the grip, and like as the guy's walking towards him, he looks back at his hands. He goes, "Boom!" It's so good, man. But yeah, is that everything for your week, Andrew? Oh, can you throw people at each other? Yes, you can.
Yes. Computer is screwing up again.
Sorry, buddy.
Did y'all hear me at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, all I literally said was my computer's screwing up again. I
Mhm.
bet y'all can't even hear me.
I heard everything up to I bet.
Other than that, I've been keeping up with Chainsaw Man, and I'm reading through Dr. Stone, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Pat, how's your
Chainsaw
week
Man.
been then?
Well, I've spent day playing Judgment,
Yeah,
so that's why it's only been 4 hours. Thanks to
the viewers.
the viewers. So thank you so much, viewers. The game is great. I started reading Dr. Stone. Since I wasn't here last week, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. That series is fantastic. That manga is fantastic.
Sure is.
I'm not too awful far. I'm probably like 20 chapters in, maybe.
Oh, you're almost caught up with me.
So good. So good. Probably won't be reading for a little while because I have a much bigger, better thing to be doing right now. But I will catch up eventually. Yes. Kind of an update from the past 2 weeks. I got a new job.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll be discussing with everyone what that means for me as far as the podcast. I'm not leaving or anything. Might not see me as near often as usual, but I will still be here definitely. I'm never.
And of course, Fire
leaving.
Emblem's not going away either.
Speaking of the new job, I really have to take this phone call.
Yeah, we'll go to my week then.
Yep, sorry.
No, you're good. It was perfect timing, kind of.
It's fine. You're just so selfish, Pat.
Obviously, Fire Emblem's not going away either. It'll still go up as normal. We just probably will record it on a different day. Not that that affects you guys at all. So my week, Judgment, played a lot of it. Finished Bloodstained. That game's really good. Right now, it's in my top 10 for the year. Don't know exactly where yet. Got to think about it a little bit more, but in some ways, it's better than Symphony of the Night, and in other ways, it's worse. The biggest difference, I think, is the sheer replayability of it. Like, every weapon has a skill attached to it that allows you to use a special move. Whereas Alucard in Symphony of the Night had like 5 spells he could do, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like that, but every weapon has one. Every weapon type has at least one. And so, because of that, there are like 16 weapon types, all of which have different weapons with different stats and effects and everything in them, you know? And because of that, it leads to... I feel like every playthrough is going to be very different. Not only the weapons, but you have all the shards and all the different usabilities with those. I'm definitely going to be playing through it again. I hope I have time to play through it again before Game of the Year. But it was a really good game. There was some problems with frame rate in some places and some bugginess. The story was good. The voice acting was great. Graphics were a little odd in places. But I really liked that game, and I think it's really solid. Definitely looking forward to what they do next.
Yeah. I wanna pick it up, but like I'm at the point now I don't really want to buy any other games.
Yeah.
Because Judgment is just taking up all. Like, I sometimes with games I'll buy so many because I may lose interest and I'll come back to it. But I just Bloodstained will have to be like December kind of game. The next game that is on my must buy list is Fire and Three Houses.
Yeah.
I'll probably skip out. I might skip out on Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah,
really want to play
I understand.
And I might skip out on Dragon Quest Builders too. Yeah.
I
It is
understand.
multiplayer though.
Yeah, it is multiplayer.
What are you going to get it on?
Probably PS4.
Okay.
Just because then I can play it while editing.
Yeah.
I will say, since our talker brought it up, if you are thinking about getting Bloodstained and you heard my recommendation, we're like, man, that sounds great. I want to buy that. Buy it on anything other than the Switch right now. Switch version is borked. It's bad right now. They're working on fixes. They're trying to make it work, but don't buy the Switch version right now.
I'm glad I didn't buy it day one because I was going to buy the Switch version.
Yeah. So it's a great game, but you know, hey. Other than that, I've been playing Shadowbringers.
Nice.
And FF14, everybody knows, it's one of my favorite games. I play it basically every day. I really like it. I'm not above being able to say when there's a problem, you know? I'm glad to tell you that it's not a problem. Shadowbringers is maybe the best story that the game's ever had so far. And I'm not even halfway through with it yet. It definitely would work as its own standalone game. Like, it ties into 14, but you're in it. So, for anybody who doesn't know, in FF14, there are these things called shards, which are like copies of the world in 14. But instead of like being well, you're just in another dimension, it's not that. Because it's the same world that you were on originally of Eorzea, but if it had gone a different way, like if it was copied at the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And so it's not like an alternate dimension where you're meeting alternate versions of characters you already know. And it still impacts the main world that you're a part of. So the stuff that's happening here affects the stuff that's happening on the source, as it's called. But you go into this expansion not really knowing any of these characters. And I was like, well, you know, one of the things that 14 really excels at is, you know, selling you on the changes to characters over time, right?
Yeah.
it didn't matter that I didn't know these characters because they did such a good job with the storytelling. I got to know them right away. And when terrible things start happening, imagine like the world that you're going to doesn't have a you. So you're the warrior of light, right? You're the hero.
Yeah.
You're the one who solves all the problems. The you in that world died
Oh, wow.
100 years ago.
What?
And
it
so
takes place in the future too.
well, no, it's like it's not a you, because again, it's not an alternate dimension. It's the warrior of light of that shard died 100 years ago. And so there has been no hero for 100 years. And so everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And you get over there, and his ghost is like, hey, I want to save this place so badly, I'm not going away yet. Nobody else can see me but you. Let's go. I'm with you. You got to save this world. It's not yours, but you got to save it.
That sounds awesome.
And so you're going through all this stuff where everything is terrible. The civilization has fallen apart. People have turned to all these different things, and everybody's like trying to hold together this last line of defense against these creatures called sin eaters that when they kill you, make you a sin eater. And in the middle of all of this, you have these characters you're meeting, and you're like, oh man, these characters are great. And then none of them are safe. None of them are safe. And so these terrible, terrible things happen. And the story at every step of the way so far has been just kicking me in the heart over and over again, as it's too late to do a lot of the good you need to do here. And so even when you're doing good, it's still costing, you know?
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be able to get away with what you're doing at this point. And it's really, really solid story-wise. They wanted to make what could be its own standalone Final Fantasy game, and I think they succeeded. I definitely think they succeeded. Welcome back, buddy.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Here in a second, if you see me looking down at my phone, I'm doing something for work. But it won't be big. I just need to send a couple text messages as the person responds to me, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah,
and the viewers, of course.
But I'll put it to you this way. At one point, and I don't want to spoil too much for anybody that hasn't got a chance to play it, you know? At one point, you get to see a character turn into a Sin Eater. And it is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in a video game.
Wow.
And then immediately after turning into a Sin Eater, this character goes, I'm sorry. And then attacks you. And I'm getting worked up. It's the most it's the
Corey
most
doesn't
like
want you to do that.
it's the most like, what? No moment I've ever had in a game. It's like a Fullmetal Alchemist, like Nina moment almost. It's horrifying. And it's just one step. There's another moment, and again, I'm being very careful not to spoil too much. There's another moment where you are interacting with these fairies, and you're like, oh, cool, it's the fairy area. You know, fairies are cool. Fairies are awesome. And they get attacked. And you watch as they turn people into these shrubs, right? That have faces on them. And you watch as water suddenly appears below them and drags men down with these hands into the pools of water, and you hear the men drowning inside the water. And then you get out of that cutscene, and you look around through the zone as you're questing, and you're doing stuff and helping the fairies, and you just keep seeing these shrubs all over the place. And then you get to this town that's completely underwater. And you realize they drowned this entire town.
Wow.
And it only gets rougher from there.
So, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
Can I skip to Shadowbringer?
So there is now a skip potion you can buy that includes Stormblood in it as well. So you can skip straight to Shadowbringers.
I know I can.
Yeah.
But does the game do a good job of bringing me up to speed?
So there will be moments where you go, wait, why? And then they'll explain it after it happens.
Okay.
So like there's a moment when the fairies try to drown you.
What?
But because you were blessed in Stormblood to be able to breathe underwater, it doesn't take. And so if you didn't play Stormblood, you'd probably be like, why am I not dead?
Yeah.
But then right after they go, well, it's thanks to Soroban's blessing, you know? So
I wonder if
there will definitely be things you don't get if you haven't at least done the 2.0 story, like up to Ultima Weapon. What is it? What's the shocked face?
I looked up like if I could just watch all the cutscenes.
Yes, you can. There's YouTube.
I sure can for 6 hours and 39 minutes, and that's just Stormblood.
Yep. I'm telling you, I'm 20 hours in, and I'm not even doing a lot of the side content.
I'm not playing a lot of stuff on PC because of Judgment.
Yeah.
But I think when I do play stuff, I'll start with Heavensward.
Heavensward's really good.
And watch that because it's just the leveling is just such a bummer.
I understand.
Because I know when I hit 60, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of extra quests between Heavensward and Stormblood.
Yeah.
And then I know once I hit the end of Stormblood, I gotta do a bunch of quests before I can even touch Shadowbringers.
Yes.
And I wanna be at the Final Fantasy 14 endgame.
Yes.
Because anytime I play dungeons or any of like those mini raids, like at the end of Realm Reborn and stuff like that, it's
right.
Like the raid stuff and the dungeons are amazing.
The dungeons.
And that's what really gets
the dungeons in Shadowbringers are amazing. They tie in so well to the story. Everything in Shadowbringers is in service to the story.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe, like, if you had asked me if you could skip to Shadowbringers before, I would have told you no. You need to play through the rest. The story's worth it. And it is still worth it. But Shadowbringers is head and shoulders above everything else in that game. There is no comparison. And I mean that with everything I am, everything that I know about this game, with how good the stuff in 2.0 is, with how good the stuff with the Crystal Braves is, with how good the stuff in Heavensward is, with how good the stuff with Xenos is, nothing in this game compares to Shadowbringers. Nothing. The amount
Final
of
Fantasy 14, it should be a known thing to fans podcasts, but
yeah.
I love this game, but I just want to be caught up. So badly I want to be caught up.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just like background story stuff and main story. Your character now has more options they've ever had before to be able to express their own thoughts on the matter. There are more times where characters ask you your opinion. You can go through dungeons with the NPCs and get more story that way. Like, it's all so good, man. And that's not even counting the job changes. I'm playing Machinist, which was the class that I hated the most in Heavensward and Stormblood. I'm playing Machinist, and it's the best. I get to go, oh man, this thing's got a lot of health left. Auto crit, drill. And then fire a drill out of my gun that could crit for like 320k.
Awesome.
It's just a nuke that I fire out of the end of my gun at things. They've done so much.
I have to ask, how is Gunbreaker? Have you played Gunbreaker?
I have played Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker is the only tank that has a reason to still attack when the boss is invulnerable. because Gunbreaker's
that?
basic combo heals him.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't heal him based on the damage he does. It's just a heal.
What level does Gunbreaker start at?
60. Gunbreaker's really fun. So is Dancer. Dancer's really good.
Well, I've never been someone to play tanks, but the Gunbreaker, well, that's not true. I off-tanked in Burning Crusade.
Right.
But it still wasn't main tank.
Yeah.
And because it scares me. Even though I can heal, I can be the healer, but for some reason tanking scares me. But the Gunbreaker
Breaker's really good.
is just so
Ready to rip, ready to tear.
Rip and tear.
The last big thing before we move on, because we do need to get on to the rest of this podcast. We still got to finish Pat's week. Healers. There's a lot of worry about healers going into Shadowbringers because their kits were getting trimmed down, DPS wise, and they were given more healing abilities. Because mobs now do more damage. They just flat do more damage to everyone. So healers needed to be healing more. And the reason they did that is because content was getting kind of stale. It was always just the boss has a couple big attacks that do a lot of damage to the tank, but other than that, he doesn't really hurt the tank that much. Tanks get hurt now, and healers need to be able to put out more healing, so they trim back the DPS to try and encourage people to heal more. For everybody going, man, healers are the worst now. White Mage now gets to use their main DPS attack 8 more times per full MP bar than they did before, with a shorter cast time. So that's already great. Astrologian now has an additional ability called Horoscope that allows them to power up based on the number of seals they've thrown out with the cards. So you can't just throw cards out willy-nilly. You have to pick your targets to use the cards with to be able to get those seals so that you can horoscope it. Scholar may only have 3 damaging abilities. I'm not going to say that's okay. 3 damaging abilities is a little low. I think it should at least be 5. But Scholar can now crit Adlo, give somebody a shield that equates it up to half of their full health. Are you kidding me? If a tank has 600,000 health, they're getting a 300,000 shield.
That's gonna be nerfed.
So it's for sure gonna be nerfed. Like, there's no way it doesn't. But for now, you should enjoy it.
but nothing beats, and this is part of what makes MMOs great is when they make changes, and something that you enjoy becomes super OP.
Yep.
Like I remember back in Burning Crusade when they revamped. They had a huge update. They revamped a bunch of skills, a bunch of talents, and they added Mutilate for the Assassination Rogue.
Yep.
And I would go into PvP. I'd do World PvP or Battlegrounds and just dominate. And it was a known thing. When it came out, it was like, this is way overpowered. But it's just so much fun to take advantage of it.
The other big thing is that with the removal of TP, for almost every class, your AoEs are now free. They don't cost anything to use. So mobs die so quickly now. Because you just spam AoEs. I guarantee you, patch 5.2 probably, all AoEs are getting their potencies dropped a little bit. All of them.
Yeah.
They're too good. Machinist has 5 AoEs.
That's
one of them's a
why
flamethrower.
So good.
One of them is a flamethrower. Anyway, Pat, how's your week?
I'm gonna start my PC real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So
I didn't even mention the music. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and mention the music real quick while I finish this text message.
Just real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Masayoshi Soken has outdone himself. The music in Shadowbringers is incredible. You have every area has its own theme, right?
Mhm.
Then you have the battle theme, which is admittedly butt rock, but it's good butt rock. Then you have the individual themes are all really good and based off different types of like genres of music.
That's
So like, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying that's cool.
So like Lakeland is this area built around this giant lake, right?
Yeah.
And the ground is purple and everything's all super bright because it's always day because there's never any night because the flood of light has taken over. And so the music is just like do 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 do. You know, it's just like peaceful.
Chill.
Yeah. And then you get to the fifth zone. I'm not gonna say the name just for spoiler's sake. Get to
Mhm.
the fifth zone, and it's got like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hey.
It's just like hey, hi, hey, it's like yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Man, the music is
Yeah.
the boss theme, man. The boss theme is so. Did you watch the Job Actions trailer that I linked?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
So that song is the boss theme.
Okay, I need to go listen to it then.
It's hype.
That's awesome.
It's so good, man. And like again, each zone having its own music, and then when you get into like the dungeons have their own music, and man, the music for cutscenes is really good. Some of the best music from previous expansions comes back.
Hmm.
It's the music's insane.
That's awesome.
The music in FF14 is amazing.
Do you know how many tracks Soken wrote for Shadowbringers?
I know it's a ridiculous number.
Let me just throw this number out here because he made for Heavensward, he made like 80 tracks, right? Which is pretty good. That's about what you'd expect for a video game soundtrack. Maybe a little on the high end, right?
Yeah.
For Shadowbringers, it was something like 74, you know?
Mhm.
How's 238 sound?
Nice.
That's ridiculous, man.
Soken is a bad man. There is no doubt in my mind, though, that when it comes to composers in Final Fantasy, Masayoshi Soken is the best. For a long time, if you had asked me that question, I would have said it was Nobuo Uematsu. And Nobuo Uematsu is still great, don't get me wrong. But Soken, being able to make all these variations, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
And if the story, I'll end with this, and then we'll go into Pat's Week and get into the rest of the podcast. If the story continues the way that it has, this will not... Shadowbringers on its own will be my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Wow.
Because it is everything I love about FF4. It is everything I love about 6 and 9 and 7. Man, rolling around this world with the ghost of a former hero that failed, who has gone cynical over the last 100 years, because if he couldn't save anybody, like if he couldn't save this world, who could? And all the people have turned against him because they think it's his fault all this happened. And then just having this moment where he goes, maybe you can do this. It's like, oh, because this character, this ghost, is a character we already knew from before. We knew of this character. We'd heard about this character. Oh, man.
It's really great.
It's so good. Please continue your week, Pat. I won't stop if you don't, so please.
So, like I was saying before I was interrupted by what I'm about to say, I got a new job.
Yeah.
My last day at my current job is next week, so I'm very excited.
So after you leave that job, we can all officially talk about it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because we all work for that place.
Yeah, and I have no problem.
And we obviously still don't want to use like names and stuff for people that work there, but we can at least
I have
mention
no
the
problem
name of the
expressing
place.
my full opinion about the place that I work at.
You might want to be a little careful with that.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna be working a lot closer to where I live, which makes me a lot happier, a lot less driving. I get 12 miles to the gallon, you guys, and I drive an hour round trip to work every day. So I am taking a pay cut, but that pay cut is very much made up in the amount of gas that I'm saving and wear and tear to my vehicle.
My car gets 26. My new vehicle.
You know how much it costs to get a tune-up on the truck?
Too much?
Yeah.
$150.
You're way off.
No.
$450
Jeez.
for a tune-up to replace the spark plugs.
That's a PS4.
Normally, I would do it by myself, but this vehicle is an inline engine, is what I was told, and because of that, it has the 4 cylinders are in 4 locations in line straight like this,
Yeah.
and so which is fine, right? Except the 4th one on both sides is underneath the dash almost. So they have to take the whole engine out of the
To be able
vehicle
to get to it.
just to replace them. Yeah. And on top of that, you have to screw in the you have to take coils off of the um
Nothing fell. Please continue.
you have to take the coils off of the spark plugs. And because that coil back there is almost untouchable, that's why it's so difficult and takes 3 hours to get done. So I'm gonna have to save up for that because that's a huge pain.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done because I haven't done a tune-up on this vehicle yet, and I've had it now for almost 2 years. Crazy, by the way. Um, thank you, Andrew, for hooking me up with the vehicle 2 years ago. It's crazy to think it's almost been 2 years since.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. um. So, yeah. So, but it'll be nice because if something were to happen, like in the past when I worked at this current job, I got into an accident, and that's what spawned the whole working with Andrew on him selling me his vehicle.
Yeah.
I got into a car accident that caused me not to be able to go to work for a month, and I can't have somebody drive me an hour round trip twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in
Now
this
things are
scenario,
different.
yeah, now my girlfriend could take me to work. Worst case scenario, I could ride a bike to work if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. It's a great new chapter in my life. I'm going to be a supervisor, just super cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And we can talk about it more off screen if you guys want to know more. But yeah, I'm super excited. And then almost a week ago, so the same day that the podcast it was the day after the podcast. So we're almost a week. My girlfriend and I adopted a dog,
Nice.
Awesome.
and her name is Shadow. She's taken up a lot of my time in a good way.
What kind of dog?
So, huh?
What kind of dog?
Oh, it's a collie and a collie lab mix.
A border collie lab?
Nice.
Yes.
You got yourself a Quincy. Come here.
She looks a lot like Quincy.
Oh my goodness, you got a sister out there.
He's
Bubba.
showing off dogs. Come here, Zeke.
No, your dog's not a border collie lab mix. Your dog can go suck it.
Come here, Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke's probably in the other room asleep.
I guarantee you he is.
um,
Because he wants. So Zeke's been wanting like twice as much food for no reason. He just assumes I'm gonna give it to him, I guess. So like he gets a scoop of food in the morning and he gets a scoop of food at night. But lately he's just been laying in front of his food bowl, trying to pity me into giving him more food.
Yeah, it's crazy. We went to the adoption center, and I think I told both of you this, or I may have just told Trey, because at the time it was
You
yeah,
put it in the
it was
Discord,
pretty
I think.
emotional. So we went to the adoption center and we found her and we fell in love with her. We were like, yes, we want to adopt her, but we can't adopt her till next week. What do we need to do? Blah blah blah. And they were like, oh, you want to adopt Shadow? Yeah, you need to adopt her by the end of the day tomorrow. We're putting her down. And we were like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
What? And they were like,
Pretty
yeah.
ridiculous.
So we had to rush to get everything those 2 days. And so that's why I wasn't on the podcast, because all of that came up at once. And I was going to actually try to make the podcast still, because I still had stuff I was doing that day, but I was trying to like kind of squeeze it in where I was going to be probably like 30 minutes late and still be on the show. But once that happened, I couldn't even do Fire Emblem that week.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, I can't. We have to get this taken care of now.
Fully
I broke down.
understandable.
Yeah, we were both crying in the car, trying to like go to the pet store and trying to go to Walmart and trying to go to everywhere to buy all this stuff.
I get, and I don't mean to just turn this into like a bash. I get where they're coming from of like we only have so much space, but if somebody's looking to adopt a dog, can't you give them another day? Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
Here's the thing. How many times because I mean it's the pound or whatever. How many times do you think they get told, "Oh no, I'm totally gonna adopt this dog"?
No, I'm sure, but like still one extra day.
Also, that's where I got Quincy from, and full disclosure, they're completely heartless there.
Yeah, I could tell. And see, I think and she
And I
was like
guess in
the
some
only
ways
way.
you'd have to be, but
Supposedly they were gonna put her down that morning, but because we put in that application, they were gonna put her down that night. So we got her an extra like 6 hours.
what's an extra scoop of food though? Like one more day.
Yeah. So, but she's
don't
with
know.
us, and we're taking care of her now. She loves us. When I come home, or well, when I go to her house, my girlfriend's house, she literally will jump up, put her paws on my chest, and I basically just hug her every
Yeah.
time I come home. And it's
Yeah,
the
but
most
you got
adorable
yourself
thing.
a Quincy. But yeah, the great thing about the Border Collie Lab mix is it's a mix of two of just the absolute sweetest breeds.
Yeah.
So
You're
you
sweet,
get
aren't
you
you,
just get a
Zeke?
big baby.
Yeah. She lives and thrives off attention
Yep.
and demands it very much so. Um, but I absolutely love her and being around her. She's a great dog, super smart. Um, it's probably the best thing
Come here. I definitely
that's
didn't
happened to
mute
me
my
in a
mic
while.
and scream to make you come in here. Come on, Zeke, show how sweet you are, buddy. Come on, that's my boy. Look at him. He's so happy, so sweet.
I probably won't ever have her over here, and that's only because I don't know if my landlord would even let me bring her over here for a night.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
I don't want to have to worry about trying to pay a pet deposit just for her to be over here every now and then. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
so other than a picture, y'all may never see her, but if you want to see her, I planned on posting a picture on my Twitter. So feel free to check out my Twitter after podcast.
You should also
Um,
follow Patrick on Twitter.
should follow all of us on Twitter, except for maybe Andrew. Andrew
Yeah.
doesn't use Twitter.
Yeah. You can
Well,
And I
follow
know
if
he
you
doesn't
want
use
to,
They can
Twitter,
still
but
follow me and learn disappointment like everybody else.
I have his notifications turned on, and I guarantee you he does not post anything.
yeah, I'm right there with you. Half the time when Pat tweets things, I'm just like, that's a sports thing I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah. Well, especially right now. That's the only other thing I've been doing is that NBA's free agency opened up yesterday at 6 p.m. So it's been a crazy night and a half for me as far as information just being processed by my brain. So I've been all over the place. Plus, I have all this stuff going on, like the new job and the new dog, and now I'm playing Judgment. So my life feels very cram packed and heavy. So I apologize if I'm out of it for probably a week or so.
It's okay.
But that was my week week.
You know what
Wait,
else
I
is
wanna
out of it?
say-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to say one last thing about where you got your dog from. They're supposed to give their dogs like parvo shots and stuff like that when they first get them.
Mm-hmm.
They did not give Quincy his parvo shot when he got there,
Wow.
so he had parvo when I got him.
Double check that with new dog. Just be safe.
We've already taken her to the vet, and
Okay.
she's gotten
Yeah.
the shots that she still hasn't had.
That's how shitty they are.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they're there because it's better for them to be there and then them actually take the dogs in than the dogs be just left to run around and unfortunately die. But
Speaking of an unfortunate death, have you guys seen the new One Punch Man game?
I have not. I need to look this
I
up.
thought we talked about this last week.
No. What is this sports ball? Is that like a Schrodinger thing? So this new One Punch Man game looks bad.
Yeah.
Imagine Jump Force, but with cel shaded graphics. That's what it looks like. It's also a 3v3 fighting game.
How do you make
What is
Fighting
Bandai
game.
doing?
with Saitama?
I don't have confirmation that they're all going to share a health bar, but if I had to guess, all three characters will probably share a health bar, just like Jump Force. Because why wouldn't they, right? I mean,
Yeah, because all they're
the
doing
engine's
is-
right there.
Yeah, all they're doing is putting in new assets. They don't actually care about the quality of it.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We don't really know anything about it. It's just a thing that they're making.
But Moomin Rider's in the game.
Yes, Moomin Rider will be playable
I
in
would
the game.
I would do anything to play as Moomin Rider. I'm just saying.
It depends on how it plays, because I thought that about playing as Dio and Hisoka too, but
How'd that turn out?
yeah.
But it's Moomin Rider, the greatest hero of all time.
Are you trying to say that? Are you trying to no sell Dio, Brando, and Hisoka
All
Muro?
I'm saying
right now?
is Moomin Rider is the best hero in that entire show,
Yes. And Dio, Brando,
which
and
makes
Hisoka
him
Muro
the best hero ever.
are two of the best villains ever made.
Oh, I wasn't talking about villains, was I?
No,
Oh,
that's true. But tell me you didn't get excited. Okay, let me throw this one at you then. Moomin Rider in this game is like Yugi in Jump Force. It's gonna be bad, the moveset's gonna be terrible, and he's not gonna look right.
man,
Look,
you gotta-
if you this is the thing, right? I don't normally take this stance. I'm gonna take this stance with this game. I haven't seen how it plays fully yet. I haven't gotten full
Yes.
gameplay.
Yes, you have. You've seen Jump Force.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If it plays like Jump Force, the way that I think it will, the only way to convince Bandai to stop doing this stuff is to vote with your wallet. I normally don't take that stance, but vote with your wallet. If you buy it anyway, you know what? What?
Yeah.
I bought Jump
You
Force
should know
anyway.
by now-
I should
you
not
should
have
know
done
by
that.
now what you're getting.
They're just gonna keep making them because people just keep buying them.
I just don't understand why Bandai is falling off right now. Like, what's going on?
I don't know that I'd say
Falling
right
off.
now.
They've always been off.
Bandai does not make good things on their own.
Yeah,
They can
Bandai
publish. good
publishes
things.
great things, but they don't make good things. And tell me the last time there was a good anime game.
Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker.
Okay,
There you go.
yeah. What was the last one before that?
The last the Naruto fighting game that came before that, because actually I heard those were really good. So that was probably like 7 years between the games.
Yeah, probably.
Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi.
That was longer than 7 years.
Yeah, I know. And before that, Tenkaichi 3.
I would go so far as to say One Piece Burning Blood was the last good, and even that one was rough, you know?
What's the deal with this? This is like a sidebar, but what's the deal with this open world One Piece game that came out in March? Is that worth playing? I
No.
heard some mixed things.
No, it's not worth playing. All right. I just want to point out, just for chat's sake, again, I've tried to warn people when you spam caps, chatbot gets onto you. I'm gonna see if I can reverse that for you, man. But chatbot got you that time. I'll look
Yeah, you
into it
should
after the
also-
stream, but
You should also not put vulgar stuff in chat because it's just not cool.
But
Why not?
play Jump Force to play as JoJo characters. Should play Eyes of Heaven.
I'll allow it.
Eyes of Heaven's good. Yeah, chatbot doesn't like caps. Artaka learned that the hard way too. Chatbot almost banned Artaka, and I had to I had chatbot. I was like, "Calm down, buddy, calm down." My Heroes One
He's
Justice.
cool. He's cool.
One's Justice was like,
That was last year.
yeah,
I
One's
heard it was
Justice.
good.
Was rough, I thought.
I didn't like
heard
what
it
I
was pretty
saw
good.
of it, but I never played it myself. You know what I do like though? Pokemon. How do you feel about Pokemon?
I like Pokemon.
You guys
I
like
also
Pokemon?
like Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon's pretty cool, right? So how do you feel about the idea of a mobile Pokemon game? We've never had one of those, right?
We've talked about this game.
Nope, this one's new. It was announced Thursday.
Is this the one where you collect the Pokemon Masters?
No, this is the one where you fight the Pokemon Masters, called Pokemon Masters. It was announced.
Tell me what it is.
Pokemon Masters is a deal where you will go around. It's a mobile game where you will go around and you will fight against master trainers from throughout the entire series. We mentioned the name when it was officially announced back in May, but we didn't have any details about it. We just knew that it was coming. So we still don't know much. What we got, yeah, it looks like a game. What we got were a set of confirmed characters. The confirmed characters are Red, Blue, Brock, Misty, Erica, Lance, Claire. I have a feeling anybody I mention after this, neither of you two will know. Stupid gem winners.
Nope.
Brendan, Norman, Flannery, Steven, Barry, Crasher Wake, Flint, Cynthia, Thornton, Sharon, Alessa, Skyla, Iris, Caitlin, Grimsley, Rosa, Karina, Wolfric, Diantha, Professor Kukui, Acerola, and Nanu. That's really all we know right now is that those characters have been confirmed.
So the Pokemon Masters are in the game Pokemon Masters.
Yep, go figure, right? We don't really know anything about how you'll train. We don't know if you even will train. Maybe you'll use pre-made teams to fight against them. But, we'll find out, I suppose. When it eventually launches, I bet it's a gacha game.
I'm about to say, it's a gacha game.
Yeah. There is no doubt in my mind that it will be a gacha game. But
I will be got.
I will also be God. I will collect Pokemon Masters if I get to.
Yep.
You kidding me?
All in.
If I could have Cynthia and Claire on a team, you kidding me? Dragon Masters? I'm in. Put Lance on there too. Like switch out Claire for Lance sometimes, maybe, I just had the dumbest
Brock and
thought.
Misty.
I just had the dumbest thought. Cynthia Lance OTP. Speaking of Pokemon though, you guys know how there was some controversy about the National Dex, right? Not being in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, Game Freak has responded. I'll tell you right now, I don't think you're going to like their response. I don't think a lot of people like their response. I understand their response. But I don't think people are going to like it very much.
2 words. Suck it.
They said, Junichi Masuda said, "Thank you to all of our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the news that some Pokemon cannot be transferred to Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I've read all your comments and appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon." Just quick aside, I doubt he's read all of the comments, but I bet he's read a lot of them. Just like all of you, we are passionate about Pokemon, and each and every one of them is very important to us. After so many years of developing the Pokemon video games, this was a very difficult decision for me. I'd like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, that does not mean that it will not appear in future games. World of Pokemon continues to evolve. The Galar region offers new Pokemon to encounter, trainers to battle, and adventures to embark on. We are pouring our hearts into these games. We hope you will look forward to joining us on this new journey. Chi Masuda. So, yeah.
I mean,
It was, look,
He said,
honestly,
"Suck it."
honestly, it was too late in development to expect that to change.
Yeah.
But people got pretty upset, and to the point where people have been doxing some Game Freak employees.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's just no life it.
Yeah. And to the point where they've been going, there's 143 employees at Game Freak. This studio had this many employees to make this game. What's wrong with Game Freak? And it's like, yeah, but maybe less than half of them are actually working on Sword and Shield, because Game Freak's also working on 2 other games at the same time right now, including Pokemon Masters.
Not possible. Not possible.
Like, they're working on Town, we already know about. And then on top of all that, half that number, let's just say 70, right? Let's just be kind and say 70. How many of those people are the janitors, are marketing, are sales, are artists? So if we break that number down, there's probably like 30 people actually doing the video game part of making the game. Of that 30, 4 to 5 to 6 of those people are testers. So 20 roughly, 22 roughly people actually working on development. Of that development team, roughly, we'll say 25, we'll be kind. 3 of them are supervisors and 1 of them's production lead. So we'll say 20 people actively working on the game, just at an estimate, right?
Yeah.
There's no way they can change. There's no way they can make new 3D models for all those characters in that amount of time.
Nope.
And although I do agree with chat, updates would fix this, where they could update the game and add them back in there. I think it's pretty clear from that response. The idea is next game will have more of them in it. Until eventually all of them are on the Switch, through Switch 3D Pokemon games where all their models have been updated. And then maybe we can get a game that has all of them in it. Is that what I wanted?
Then they'll come
No.
out with a new console.
Yeah, and then they'll come out with a new console. That's not even close to what I wanted, but I think that's the reality we live in. Obviously, this has led to a lot of pushback from people. People are real mad. And I'm to the point where I'm real tired of how mad people are about this.
Springtime.
Just get over it. Quit crying.
Like, I get that you're upset. Just don't buy the
Yeah.
game then. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm still excited for it.
Not every game is made for you.
Yeah. And is that harsh?
Even if
Yes.
even if it's a game in a franchise that you love, it doesn't mean that they're going to make the same game that you want.
Yes. So, I don't know, man. It boggles my mind that people just are still so. And again, doxing people, man. Like, you want to tell Game Freak they don't have to change? Do it like this. This is how you're doing it. Because you're telling them that you don't care enough with your wallet. You're telling them you care more to hurt them as a company, to hurt their employees and scare their employees. Those employees are not then going to work a bunch of extra overtime hours to make you happy after you doxed them.
Yep.
So, we'll move on from there, though, unless you guys have any other thoughts about that.
Pretty much feel the same way that y'all do.
So, the Game Awards, right? We've made our opinion clear on the Game Awards. Did you know that every year there's a Critics Awards for E3?
No, I did not.
I did not either until this year, because the people, Jeff Keighley, that runs the Game Awards, is a part of the critics this year and was tweeting about it, and thus I found out about it because he got to choose the critics this year.
PR, man.
So, I would like to throw this out here, and I will give you the name of the award, and we'll let you guess what the critics chose. Okay? I can also tell you who the judges are for the critics if you'd like to know.
Nah. Let's do it.
Okay. So, for best original game from all of E3, what do you think won?
Cyberpunk.
Yep.
The Outer Worlds.
Okay, all right.
It's a good choice.
They've already thrown me for a loop.
Yep. Best console game shown at E3. Again, does not have to be playable yet.
Cyberpunk.
I don't know. I don't have a list of all the games in front of me.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Wow.
Okay.
Best VR game.
Cyberpunk. VR game. I can't think of any VR games.
There were a couple
can't-
shown at Kind of Funny and a couple shown at what's it called? The PC Gaming Show.
Go ahead and say it. I can't think.
I have
Phantom
no idea.
Covert Ops. Best PC game.
So this is Cyberpunk.
Pat, thoughts?
PC.
That what was it called, the Outer Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I'll just tell you, I'm not sure how they did any of this judging. Because it's Doom Eternal, which is also a console game.
Yeah.
But it's more anticipated on the PC.
Still, a little interesting. Best hardware
surprised.
/ Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm surprised there's no like Cyberpunk stuff so far because everyone was creaming their jeans about Cyberpunk after the show.
That's why.
You're breathtaking.
That's why I was going to tell you who the judges were, so that you would have an idea of if Cyberpunk was in there or not.
Brandon Jones.
The Verge, Waypoint, Vice, Polygon, Kotaku,
Okay.
Ars Technica.
So what I should just say from now on is whatever games. Never mind. No.
Easy Allies got in there too, though. Easy Allies got to vote as
Okay,
well.
all right, take it back.
But again, they just got to vote. They didn't get to choose on their own. Best hardware / peripheral.
This has to be Scarlet. I don't like the face you made.
Pat, I gotta stop making faces.
Like I said, I don't have a list in front of me. I can't remember names well.
Just a guess. Whatever you think was the best peripheral that you remember being seen.
The
E3.
main thing I remember is Cyberpunk for the memes.
Okay, well, that's not a peripheral, but okay. The Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2.
I didn't
There
even know that they
was a
mentioned that.
whole flipping console announced.
Yep, and somehow the controller won over the console.
Okay.
I didn't even know they released a new console. I mean, a controller.
I need a new one because mine is messed up.
I guarantee you it won because a bunch of the places that voted didn't care about Xbox but could use that controller on PC. Best action game.
Okay, Cyberpunk's not an action game, but could they consider it an action game based on the fact that there is action?
It's basically the same exact controller.
Yep, but it
It's
has
got Bluetooth. It's
built-in
got
Bluetooth now.
Cyberpunk.
It's better than a console, right?
Oh man. Stupid.
Best
What's the
action
best
game.
action
What do you
game,
think?
Cyberpunk.
Doom Eternal.
Damn
Oh,
it,
you know
how did I
what?
forget? We just talked about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I that makes so much sense now.
Best action adventure game.
Oh, we know the answer to this one.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Watch Dogs Legion.
I didn't even know that was announced.
Who makes this? Who?
How did you not watch my video about the things I was most impressed by and hear me talking about Watch Dogs Legion?
That was one of the busiest weeks of my life.
It's fair, but you should go back and see the biggest stuff coming up. Best RPG.
Cyberpunk.
No. It's the Outer Wilds or Outer World or whatever.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's what I was about to say, and I was like, you know what? This might be the Cyberpunk one.
Best racing game.
There wasn't a new Forza announced.
What? It's that one game.
Best
It's a
racing.
game that's like the classic looking one. What's that one called? What's it called?
What?
Sports cars or whatever it's called, the Square Enix
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, obviously it's not the right answer because you would have just said it.
Hold on.
That's true.
Was Crash Team Racing there?
Crash was shown at E3. Yes.
I'm saying CTR.
Okay. Best racing game was Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
I finally got one.
Best sports
Yeah, that
game.
came out
This is
a
gonna
week
make you
after.
mad, Pat.
I'm sure it was a racing game.
NBA Live.
eFootball PES 2020.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be
No,
awesome.
I'm not upset. That's amazing. PES games are really good.
I
In
thought it
fact,
was going to make you mad because it didn't get any actual time shown at E3. It was just in the
Oh.
reel. It was in the sizzle
Yeah.
reel.
By the
That's
way,
sad.
PES 2019 is free with PlayStation Plus in July.
Yeah.
I was about to say that it hasn't come out yet, I guess, because they're still doing the June ones.
Wednesday.
So the
So I'm
thing that
excited.
upsets me the most about the fact that it was just in a sizzle reel is that for it to have gotten voted in here, one of two things happened. Either there were no other sports games announced, which I know is incorrect, or the judges played it on the floor, but it only got played on the floor and it was only part of the sizzle reel in the presentation.
Yeah.
Either way, that's frustrating. Best
PES is good though.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. Best strategy game. I don't think this is fair because this game was not shown at E3 and was only on the show floor.
I was gonna
So
say
there's-
Three Houses.
There's
but
no
that's not the
way
right
that
answer
you
then.
could have known that this game. I didn't even know this game existed until I got into digging research for this.
I don't know them.
Tell
It's
us.
John Wick Hex,
Oh,
the mobile
yeah.
game.
That was actually announced before E3.
Yep, and then it was playable at the show
That-
floor, but they
that
didn't
was
show it
playable,
during any
yeah.
of E3. Best family/social game. Daniel Bloodworth got on Twitter about this one because he was so upset.
Crash Team Racing.
Wait, is it that one game? What is it? It looked like that stupid game. Gosh, where it's like a battle royale, but everyone looks like clay dolls.
I know what you're talking about. It's not that game. It
Okay.
was Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yes, Luigi.
So yeah, I'm glad Luigi's Mansion 3 won. How is that a family game? Your multiplayer is only with one other player.
If you have a broken home, all you need is you and your dad.
It feels like there
It
were
got
other
dark
games.
really quick.
There were other games announced that had more players that were better for family, and it felt like they just threw a bone to Luigi's
But
Mansion there.
were they developed by Nintendo?
No. Best
Because Nintendo automatically wins family, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever game.
Best online multiplayer. We're almost done, by the way.
Online player. Okay, hold on.
The new Battlefield.
What?
Did that get announced at E3? I thought it did.
No.
Oh.
Multiplayer. What was announced?
Shadowbringers was announced. I mean, it was already known, but it was shown off more.
What?
Luigi.
Is that who it is? Is that what it is?
No, chat's talking about Luigi.
'Cause
How
I
great
was gonna
Luigi
guess
is.
Luigi's Mansion just because.
It was Call
go
of
with
Duty
that.
Modern Warfare.
Oh, yeah,
Playable.
the new one.
It was playable on the show floor.
It was.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh, I wonder if there's gameplay
However,
then.
I believe it was NDA'd. So gameplay will go up when the embargo goes up.
Boo!
Best independent game.
Still gonna look and see if it was leaked.
I'm actually really happy about this one because I will tell you, if Andrew watched the video, he'll have a leg up. This was in my best in show video.
You know I didn't watch that video.
Both of you disappoint me.
What's that?
It was. Wait. Oh, what is that game? I don't know. I remember you talking about. Wait, The Remnant of the Ashes.
That's a good guess.
Not it. Okay. Never mind.
I didn't say that wasn't it. I just said it was a good guess. Pat, what's your guess?
I have no idea.
Remnant from the Ashes was a good pull, but it's 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, I knew there was a couple that we had talked about. I can't remember which one it was.
2 awards to go. Best ongoing game.
Overwatch.
please. Warframe.
Destiny 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works too. I forgot Destiny 2 had all those announcements.
Also,
I
not to
started playing it
get,
again.
not to call out any specific mediums, but remember that when they did this voting, Destiny 2 had also just got its freedom back. Bungie had just got rights back to it from Activision.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of groundswell on game journalism sites about how Destiny 2 was now finally a game owned by the people that had made it, and it was to be celebrated. Again, not calling anybody out specifically, and I'm not saying that's why it won. I'm just saying that I don't think anything else had a chance. When
You're not
Destiny 2
saying
is
it,
solid.
you're just insinuating.
Well, because Destiny 2 is already good, right? But then it also had that
Awesome.
happen. And so, the last one, special commendations for graphics.
Cyberpunk.
This is it, baby. Cyberpunk's pulling it.
Cyberpunk 2077.
You're breathtaking.
So, I don't understand why they couldn't just called it best graphics. It was on the show floor, Artaka, like so many other games. I don't understand why they couldn't have just called it best graphics. Why did they have to give Cyberpunk 2 a special commendation? What, did they do that so that it wouldn't be eligible to win everything else? Is that why?
Yep.
Man. Also, it won a lot of awards the previous year, so maybe they were trying to separate from that. But lest we forget, Anthem won Best Action Game from them the year. Saying. So.
Yep. Anthem, the game that still has 10 years left in its life cycle.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh boy.
Now I'd like to do, for the last part of the podcast, it's a deal that we do roughly around this time of year, every year on the podcast. Everybody knows how much we love Game of the Year. It's one of the most hyped times of the year. It's super stressful for all of us trying to get ready for it. And then trying to get everything filmed and edited and put out there. But it's also one of the hypest times of the year for us. So, halfway through the year, we do early goatees, which is where we just talk about the games that have already come out, games that we think have a chance at Game of the Year, games that we were excited for at the start of the year that kind of didn't pan out the way we thought they would, games that we're still excited for with the rest of the year. So, I can go first if you guys would like, or one of you can go first. For games that you think still have a chance at Game of the Year based off the first half of this year.
Being in the top 10?
Yes. Or maybe of winning a category.
Let me pull up that docket. That'll help a little bit.
Every year, I forget how we do this, even though we do it every year.
And it's not completely based on recency bias.
Yeah.
But I think Judgment will be talked about at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
agree.
it definitely will be. I need to know how it... Thank you for adding it too, Pat, because I'd forgotten to do that. Although I did add a character into Best New Character from Judgment. I did not add Yagami. I added Kaito in the Best New Character.
Wait, which one? Oh,
That's,
Kaito.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Judgment definitely will get talked about at the end of the year. It'll depend on how it ends, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely going to be a contender for one of the top 10 spots. I think Bloodstained will probably be talked about at the end of the year. I don't know that it'll get in the top 10. I want it to, but it'll depend on what else comes out, you know? I need to put it on best soundtrack, though. I haven't done that yet. I already did. Never mind. Because the soundtrack's really solid. This is also, for anybody who doesn't know, this is when we trim off some of the stuff that we have put on there that we no longer think is deserving of it comparatively. I think go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I think DMC5 will be discussed.
I think you're right. I think DMC5 is a strong contender.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's like... I don't know if the story is like best story applicable, because the story is good in DMC5, but it's kind of secondary to everything else, you know? But, man, DMC5 is just such a good game.
But it's so much fun to play.
Yep. And I did nominate V as one of best new characters.
Oh yeah.
Easily. Oh, we're gonna get to those. We're talking. Don't worry. I think KH3. I'm gonna take it out of the Game of the Year bracket for Game of the Year.
Ooh.
I still think it could win some other stuff. I think it has some really good moments, and I do think we may need to cut back some moments, like we always do. But I think KH3. I'm gonna pull it off the actual like GOTY itself. I mean, I guess I could leave it for now and see where it lands, but I don't think it's making the top 10. I'll leave it for now and we'll see. I do want to add Super Robot Wars T to Best Story. But we're not spoiling a thing here. We spoil at the end of the year.
Yeah, it all spoils it.
I think the soundtrack has a chance. I think there's some really solid moments. I don't think there's really I don't think there's really any characters that are new that would really go for best new character, you know? And I forgot one nomination for best new character from Bloodstained, which is OD, which is a really great character in Bloodstained. What do you think about RE2 Remake? Think we'll still be talking about it at the end of the year?
Yes, I think so.
I think you're probably right.
Amazing game. It's not just an amazing remake; it's an amazing game that stands on its own.
I agree.
Mr. X hunting you down like you're just absolute filth.
Yep. I think we'll still be talking about Sekiro.
Yes, I need to go back and finish it, but yeah, I think we'll talk about Sekiro.
I think Sekiro is really solid. Pat, when did that come out? Just to double check. It wasn't the end of last
Tetris
year.
99?
Yeah. Was that this year?
It came out the very beginning of the
Yeah, February. You're right. Yeah, that's a good spot for it then.
I think that will be talked about for biggest surprise for sure.
I think you're probably right.
Ooh, that's true.
So let's just run down what we got right now. We've already covered all the games that are in Game of the Year. Our current Game of the Year predictions to be able to fight for the top 10 are Kingdom Hearts 3, RE2 Remake, DMC 5, Sekiro, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, and Judgment. Is there any other games you guys have put enough time into that you think is optional? If we had, like, if Shadowbringers was its own standalone game, I would have thrown it in there already, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not, unfortunately. So although I still think it could win Best Story, I don't think it can win Best Game.
The rest of the games I'm playing come out later.
Yeah.
I think Outer Wilds might make it on. I need to go back and play it and actually finish it.
Okay.
I still haven't touched Dauntless.
Dauntless officially released this year. We also have Iceborne coming out this year.
Yeah.
Iceborne's going to be real solid.
We all know Death Stranding is going to be the game.
Death Stranding's probably going to wind up on the list of the top 10, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be really bad for it not to, based on Kojima's previous work.
Yeah.
Currently,
once he gets free reign, it just goes off the deep end.
Yeah. Currently, for Best New Character, we have V from DMC5, Saizo from Super Robot Wars T, OD from Bloodstained, Kaito from Judgment, and Caesar from Wargroove.
Yes.
All of those are good to me.
I would add, from what... See, it's hard to add someone without finishing the game.
Yeah.
But Yagami, I think, could also be added in that discussion.
We'll put him on there for now.
What I've played so far.
And we'll see how it rolls out with him. And then, Best Story. Currently, we have Judgment, again, dependent. Super Robot Wars T and Shadowbringers, again, dependent. We'll see how those roll out.
It hasn't been a super story-heavy year.
Not really. And I don't think, like, again, DMC5, Sekiro, and then RE2 story we already knew. It's not a, you know, it's updated. There's some cool new surprises, but I don't know that that's a very strong story on its own, you know?
No, it's no. Zombie outbreak, you gotta survive.
Yeah. And then Sekiro just doesn't have the same kind of story that the previous Souls games do, you know? It's good. It's got a fun story, but it's just not quite as deep. Best cast, we currently have KH3, DMC5, and Super Robot Wars T. I could easily see Judgment getting added on there. with its main cast of characters. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and add it now,
I
and I'll cut it
from-
later if I have to. But
from what I've played, that game definitely needs to be on best cast discussion.
they seem like really good characters. Even the villains so far seem villains, right?
Yes.
But
Yes. There's so many good characters.
I think Fire Emblem will probably wind up on here with just how many characters there are.
I think
but
Fire Emblem will end up on best story too.
I think you're probably right, but I wanna get a feel for it first before I put it on there. Most disappointing currently is Anthem, Jump Force, EDF, Iron Raid, and Far Cry New Dawn.
When
Oh,
I grow up,
Pretty-
I wanna be a
pretty rough
computer.
crowd.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that line.
yeah, that's in a game.
Man, that's I don't. So far, we haven't had to add anything else, but not yet. Artuck, I can't use Discord during the podcast because it's used for all this, but I'll check it afterwards. For best world, we currently have Ashina from Sekiro, The Final World, KH3. I'm not spoiling. Just using very non-spoilers language. The Castle from Bloodstained, and Kamurocho from Judgment. Granted, it is almost the same Kamurocho from Yakuza 6, but there
But
are some changes.
you have friends.
Yes, there are, and it's a more flushed out world because you have friends. Honestly,
Yeah.
best moment, man. We're not gonna hit in on all of
Let's
these for
not.
names. We're just gonna skip past it
Yeah.
for now. And again, I think we need to fall back in our old rule of 3 tops for each game.
Yeah.
Which means I'm gonna go back through after the podcast and trim it up some more, because there's like 5 on here from DMC5, and I almost feel like we need to do the Wolfenstein treatment for DMC5.
Well, just leave them on there, and we'll discuss at the end of the year.
Yeah, that'll work.
When we have all that time to reflect and say, you know what, this was a better.
Yeah, this one was better than this one.
Yeah.
We'll just keep adding to them for now. For best multiplayer, you have not played that yet, sir. Don't add that here now. You don't know.
I put when it comes out.
Overwatch 2.
Um,
Oh,
right
man.
now,
Don't
all we
put it
really
beside-
have.
What game did you put?
Call
He
of
would
Duty.
put the new Call of Duty. For best multiplayer right now, all we have on there is Apex Legends.
Yeah. I think the new Call of Duty will probably be on there.
Probably. I'm hoping that we get some surprise games on there. Like something come out and it just has a really good. You know what else needs to be on there? Tetris 99.
Yep.
I agree with that. I completely
Yeah,
agree with that.
I was just thinking, what other games have like crazy multiplayer in them? And
2K.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Hopefully, we'll have some more stuff that comes out. Chat says Overwatch 4. That
I
has
don't
some
want to
really
get
good
on that
multiplayer.
topic because I'll jump on the soapbox and then we'll go over for sure.
Biggest surprise, which I skipped when going through them. Currently, the nominations are Eastshade,
Yes.
Fell Seal, Arbiter's Mark, Tetris 99, and Cadence of Hyrule. I put this on here. Don't know that it counts as a surprise because we know what it was going in, but it's
But
really good.
It will surprise you.
Because I
The
didn't
Outer
expect it to
Wilds.
actually be that good.
Put the Outer Wilds on there too.
All right.
Um,
And again, for anybody who's like, man, now we know what they're going to talk about at the end of the year. There's like 6 months between now and then, guys.
There's a lot of games.
This
coming
list
out
could
between now
change
and then.
drastically between now and then.
see, for me, Judgment's on there because I'm new to the Yakuza formula. So
That's
I
fair.
don't know if it
I'll put it on the list and we
I
can
don't know if
discuss it
really
later
needs
on.
to be on there.
And then finally, best soundtrack is the last of our 10 categories. Our nominations are Kingdom Hearts 3, DMC 5. I've already put it on there, don't worry. Super Robot Wars T, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Everybody,
Ooh.
Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, and Shadowbringers. I was trying to think. Sekiro's soundtrack is just kind of fine, you know? And Judgment soundtrack is just kind of fine, you know?
Wait, have you listened to any of the records yet?
Yes. And they're great. I can put it on the list if you want.
Well, wait.
There may be a track that just catches me out of nowhere and makes me go, huh? But nothing so far has grabbed me the way that. And I think DMC5 maybe we could pull off there too. Like, it has a good soundtrack, don't get me wrong.
I don't know, man.
But
It should still be talked about.
yeah, we can talk about it. I just don't think it really. I don't walk away from that game remembering a song in my head, you know? I just really enjoy the music when I'm playing it. I expect Doom Eternal to be the
Devil
same
Trigger?
way. Well, I mean, yeah,
Devil
everybody
Trigger.
remembers Devil Trigger. Oh, my Devil Trigger.
Doom Eternal will probably have one of the best soundtracks of the year.
It probably will, but I probably won't remember it at all when I walk away from the game.
See, I remember the original Doom.
Well, we'll see
Not
how
the
it shakes
original,
out then.
The one from a couple years.
Well, with the games that we've already played, I'm going to pull up the list. What are you excited for coming out that you think may be able to make the list?
I've got my list of stuff here too.
Let me pull out the Get Ready Game release schedule.
Um,
I'm gonna
do you want-
say Wolfenstein Young.
Okay.
If it's as good as the last one, even though you're not feeling some of the vibes,
Yeah.
trailers. If it's as good as the last one, it'll be one of the best games of the year.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
we already said it kind of, but Fire Emblem Three Houses will definitely be on there, in my opinion.
I think they'd have to mess it up really bad for it not to be.
Based on what I've seen of gameplay, I feel like that alone will put it in a conversation of some type.
Yep.
It's going to be talked about it as either one of the good games or it's going to be talked about as most disappointing. It's going to happen one way or the
It
other.
has to be. There's too many
Yeah.
systems they've revealed at this point for it not to be.
Yep.
It's either
That's what
going
I
to
was
be
about to
the
say.
best Fire Emblem game when it comes to gameplay or the worst one. Because
Yep.
all those systems are either going to build it up to be the best gameplay or they're going to not work together at all and it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Quest Builders 2 might be able to make it on there.
Yeah.
Those games are just really quaint and fun and special. I don't think it'll be like super high, but I think it maybe either soundtrack wise or just gameplay wise be able to earn its spot.
Best multiplayer, Ultimate Alliance 3?
It's
Question
possible.
mark?
It depends on how well the netcode goes, but it's possible.
I would say Control is possibly
Yeah.
up there.
I
from where
think
we're at
Dragon
right
Quest
now.
Builders 2, by the way, has multiplayer too. You can get a
Yep.
bunch of people in building stuff. That might be a really good multiplayer. We'll see.
Let's do it, guys. Let's
I'm
do
down.
it.
I'm down. I think Astral Chain will probably wind up on Best Surprise.
Possibly.
I think that game is actually going to wind up being really good. It looks rough, I'll admit.
I'm
I'm
definitely want to.
I'm worried.
And you should be
Because
wary.
They came out and said that it's a planned trilogy,
Mhm.
but the development of the other games is dependent on the success of this game.
Yes.
Now, the last time I heard a developer come out and say that, we received 2 human.
Yes.
So, and that game is not good.
No, I agree. I definitely agree.
Ooh. Borderlands 3.
Yep, I think it'll probably wind up on there. I have two monkey wrenches too. In the form of Shovel Knight expansion. Supposed to hit sometime this year. And if they finish it in time, Hollow Knight Silksong. The Hollow Knight expansion. I think those would be sudden surprise launches that people would go, oh, okay. Have a good one. Go ahead, Pat. You had a thought too?
Pokemon Sword and Shield will definitely be talked about at Game of the Year.
Yep, it'll
One way
again,
or
just
the
like
other.
Fire Emblem, either be right up there or right down there.
There's
Same
no
with
way.
Same with the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
It looks,
see-
like it looks like an actual Fallout game.
Like going as far as saying, like even putting the fact that all the Pokemon aren't going to be in there, like taking that whole factor out, seeing the map, that excited me so much that it's either going to be biggest disappointment or talked about as something fantastic.
I agree.
Death Stranding and Doom Eternal.
I think both of those for sure are getting talked about this year. There's no
Wait,
way
do
they're
you think
not,
that-
right?
Do you think that we're going to talk about Days Gone, Andrew?
No, because I never went back and finished it. I like the game a lot, but
So should I okay, put it this way, should I buy it?
if you want, no, you shouldn't buy it because you have Judgment.
No, I don't plan on buying it anytime soon. It'd be later in the year.
If you can, especially if you can get it for a little cheaper, I would say if you want an open world zombie type game, pick it up. It's so far the story has been really good, but
I just don't want to try to buy it a little bit later in the year, rush to beat it, and then it not be worth putting
it's
in my
not going
top
to be.
10.
It's not going to be game of the year. For
Yeah,
sure.
I think you're probably right.
Okay.
Artaga, Risk of Rain 2 just doesn't look good to me. I don't like the change to the 3D from the old 2D that Risk of Rain had. So I'm not gonna pick it up. Maybe when it's cheap, but
When is Oninaki coming out?
I was just about to bring up Oninaki. I was gonna bring up 3 games and see if they surprised you or not. Remnant from the Ashes is this year.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably wind up talking about maybe even best multiplayer right there. Oninaki is this year, which that's August 22nd,
Okay.
and looks really, really good. And then Daemon Ex Machina.
Yeah.
I think it is going to get talked about because it's either going to be amazing
Or
Like-
biggest disappointment.
or it's going to be a huge disappointment. Playing the demo, I mentioned it earlier in the chat, but playing the demo, I loved everything about the game except how floaty it was. And I could not get over how floaty it was. And so we'll see. It's going to be one or the other. We also have Digimon Survive coming out supposedly sometime toward the end of this year. And that game looks really good. There's the new Destiny expansion coming out in September.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening remake is coming out this year. And it looks
Luigi's
beautiful.
Mansion 3.
That's February.
Is it? No, that's a 2019. I thought.
I think it's February. I'll double check. But then, of course, we have Death Stranding. Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know that we're going to be talking about Jedi. My
No.
prediction for Jedi Fallen Order is going to be mediocre. I hope
Yeah,
I'm
they said
wrong.
2019.
Okay. I hope I'm wrong about Fallen Order, but that's my current prediction for Fallen Order is that it's going to be mediocre.
Yeah, it looked mediocre.
And I think, honestly, Shenmue 3 is going to be the same way. I hate to say it.
Really.
I really hate to say it because I love Shenmue 1. But I think it's going to wind up being mediocre. There's no way it can live up to the hype, right?
We're getting a Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. It's going to be like Kingdom Hearts 3, where like it's fine, but it's not, other than like 2 or 3 moments, it's going to just be fine, you know? And then we have a list of games that may come out this year and may not. The Silk Song is one of those where it's like supposed to come out this year, but there's no solid release date. It's just 2019, you know? The Panzer
Yeah.
Dragoon remake, Pokemon Masters, although I don't think we'll be talking about either one of those, honestly. Much I hate to say that. You know? Yeah,
So,
I think Artak is right. Shenmue is the KH3 thing, but like times 10. Because the people that love Shenmue love Shenmue. They only have 2 games. Please go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry.
did the Konosuba game come out already?
Only in Japan. It hasn't come out over here yet.
Dang.
Give it some time.
Is that
I
some
want it
Duke thing?
now.
Guys, we
Game's gonna
forgot
be so good.
we forgot the one that's definitely going to win Game of the Year.
What?
Gears Pop.
God. I want my Konosuba.
Oh, so
Gears Pop possible biggest surprise.
possible. It actually is, because it could be great, right? But
it could be. Yeah, it's possible because our expectations are rock bottom.
yeah. So yeah, that's really all the big games coming out. Is there any other game that we forgot that you guys can think of that was something you were looking forward to that you think might be Game of the Year contender? I don't think there's any games we forgot that. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. That was last year. No, that hasn't come out yet. The new one you talking about? No, I'm thinking No More Heroes 3. Travis Strikes Again was last year.
Is Town still coming out this year?
It's another one of those that may come out this year, may not, just given 2019.
Gotcha. I think that could be a really good game, honestly.
I think Total War 3 Kingdoms could wind up being on the list. Depending. I've played a lot of it, and I like it, but I don't know that it's stands up to the others, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking, and there's games that like I'm excited for, but I just nothing gives me the impression that Game of the Year worthy. Like Biomutant.
Yeah.
Biomutant is cool, but
Rage
nothing
2,
really
guys.
screaming. I forgot that even came out. I was gonna buy it too.
Dreams. Who knows, right? When Dreams gets its full release, that could be something. World War Z could be something.
Yeah,
On the
I gotta
list?
play more of that. I really do.
But yeah, multiplayer.
I've had no drive to
Uh,
play it though, now, especially now, but I've had little drive to play it.
There's really nothing else. I was just double checking one last time for stuff that already came out. But God Eater 3 came out. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that Konosuba is not available in the West.
Sorry, buddy. But yeah, with all that said, that's Game of the Year, early Goaty.
Wait,
What'd you think of?
Jumanji the video game.
It could be good.
Based on
Yes.
the movie.
I don't think it will be, but it could be good.
I'm gonna buy it for the meme.
I'm gonna give them $60 for a joke. What you just.
Yep. And it's gonna be my number one on my top 10 games of the year.
Don't have too much fun
I
at work,
want
King.
Mech Warrior 5 to be good. I don't know if I already mentioned that or not. I think I did.
Yeah,
I'm at
you brought it up earlier. I hope it's good too.
I'm at 8 games, by the way.
Are you?
I'm actually gonna hit 10 games that I've played this year
Oh,
for the first time since I've been on the podcast. I'm super excited.
What's their 10th game? Because you're playing 9 Fire Emblem.
9 is Fire Emblem, and then 10 will be 2K for sure. And then I also plan on picking up Pokemon Sword and Shield. I still haven't played Dauntless.
Please, do me and Trey a favor and buy Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. When does it come out?
In November.
Okay.
so nervous about Death Stranding, man.
Okay.
I have this image in my head of Kojima, right? And he is, in my head, he is the single best author, the auteur ever, that makes, like, straddles the line of too much and not enough at the same time in such a masterful way. And I'm so concerned that his first project on his own is going to be a flop and we're never going to see him again.
Yeah, I'm worried. But it's Kojima, so I gotta have faith.
Yep. Also, to Chad's question, Iceborne will count when it comes out. Absolutely it will. The beta will not count, but the full game will.
Best expansion?
We don't have a best expansion category, but Shadowbringers would win if we did.
No, Iceborne.
My only sadness with Game of the Year is that Shadowbringers can't be Game of the Year. Because the game itself came out.
If Overwatch comes out with an expansion instead of a second game, then we might have a conversation.
Oh.
Yeah. And this
And then Destiny's expansion would be added in there too. Because Andrew would play it.
Yeah, baby.
And then half the list would just be expansions between Iceborne, Destiny, Overwatch, and Final
Our
Fantasy
top
14.
5 games are just all expansions.
Oh. Yeah, did you guys have any other final thoughts on it?
No.
It's a good year for video games.
Yeah. Some might say it's the best time to be playing video games.
Some, especially this guy named Vinny Caravella. He
Yes.
would say that.
Yes.
At Giant Bombo.
I need to watch more of their content. I fell off, but
I've
Don't
started.
remember.
I'm getting back into it. I'm thinking about buying the premium sub again.
My problem is, and this is probably not the thing to be talking about on live. My problem is a lot of the. And I hate to say it because I've always been like Jeff Grossman's biggest fan, right? But a lot of the content on the West Side is just boring to me now.
Well, it helps. It doesn't help when you have Brad.
And I think part of that is I watch a lot of Easy Allies now, where all 9 of them are interesting, you know? And I think Jeff Gerstmann's super interesting on his own. But what I loved the most about Jeff Gerstmann was the way that he interacted with Dan and with Vinny and with Drew.
Yeah.
And even as much as I'm not a Patrick Klepek fan, the way he interacted with Patrick Klepek was really good, you know? And you got Ben and Brad, and they're not bad people, right? They're like fine. I have nothing against them. But they don't get excited very often, and then when they get excited, it's about things I don't get excited for. So it's just that I don't mesh with them, you know?
Yeah.
But Giant Bomb East is great. Alex Navarro can be very much a bummer sometimes. And again, I have nothing against him. It's just he's a very chill, maybe is the word to use, person. And he is just very, you know, yeah, and we're going to do it this way, and we're going to see how it works. And if it doesn't work, well, I mean, it doesn't work, you know, and it's just the way that it is, and we're just going to try it again. And that's fine. For some people, that's exactly what they want, you know?
Yeah.
But I love the Mario Maker stuff where it's Jeff and Dan on the couch making Mario Maker levels, and they're both losing their minds as they realize they can use something in a specific way, you know? Well, I don't know. I need to watch more of their stuff, though. Is that your plug this time, Giant Bomb?
Sure.
And if you like Dragon Ball Z, and you want to hear 2 people that have never watched anime before watch Dragon Ball Z as their first anime, listen to their podcast, All Systems Goku. I've mentioned on this podcast before, it's amazing as Dan and Jeff watched anime for the first time in the form of Dragon Ball Z Kai. And you will see, I will give you this one spoiler. You will see that they're kind of into the show, and then Vegeta shows up. And then they're super into the show.
Yeah.
I thought that the voice actors that they got for Kai weren't the best. Some of the new people.
They weren't, but I understand why they chose to go with Kai. Because it is the shorter version, you know, and they'd never seen anime before. If you take somebody who's never seen anime before and go, you could watch these 103 episodes, or you could watch these 307 episodes, which one are they going to take?
Yeah.
But yeah, and as King points out, you should watch Easy Allies too, though, because I can feel every strand of my princess's hair. And if you've never seen that stream, you should go watch the Easy Allies play Trials. It gets ridiculous.
Easy Ally.
Last week's stream, by the way, they lost a bet. A bunch of them lost a bet and had to give 5-minute monologues as if they were part of a play that involved Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. No. A play where you are in Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Kyle
The
Bossman's was the
location.
best. Kyle Bossman's was the best.
As per usual.
But yeah, you should watch Easy Allies. You should watch Giant Bombs. You know, they're good stuff. They're good stuff. But any other thoughts? Anything else we might have missed?
No.
If you care about 2K, if you're a sports guy, they announced the cover athletes, and they announced also in the video that they released that the WNBA players will be in the game as well.
That's
So
good.
now the WNBA players will be in a good game.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna go. Sure, you guys are gonna
Yeah,
play
really
some more Judgment.
I can't.
I'm gonna play more
Till tomorrow.
Shadowbringers.
Why can't you play Judgment?
I can't play till tomorrow because I spend the night every night at my girlfriend's now since we have the dog.
Gotta
Gotta
rub
take
it in
care of the
everybody
puppers.
else's face that doesn't have a girlfriend. You know.
That's
Or
not
a
it.
dog.
I gotta go take care of the puppers.
Where's he at? Not here. Oh wait, no,
Doesn't
he is
care
there
about
actually. He's in the floor. I'm sorry, Zeke. Zeke, come here. Come say hi. Don't just sit
He's
up.
like-
Come here.
Like, bruh, I was taking a nap.
Hey, come say hi. Come on, come say hi. Come on. Fine. Doesn't want to say. It feels great to play Shadowbringers. That's what I'm gonna go do again in just a minute ago. Just a minute from now. Play more Shadowbringers.
I think
But,
we're all tired.
We are. Until next time, though, everybody, I've been Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Patrick.
My Amazon Echo in the other room was
FedEx
talking.
Simulator 2019.
That's his job.
Why am I low key here for this?
But until next time, remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life has to offer.
Konnichiwa.
Later, everybody.